Well, good afternoon. The last few years here at Cannes have seen independent agencies stepping up and claim an array of Lions, including several coveted Grand Prix. It's my pleasure, therefore, to welcome back to Cannes Lions Julian Boulding, who is the founder of thenetworkone and publisher of the world's leading independent agencies. Julian is going to introduce the annual Cannes Lions Independent Agency Showcase. Over to you, Julian. Round of applause, please.
Thanks very much, and welcome everybody. As we just heard, we do this every year now for the past 5 or 6 years. And what we started to do was, I think in about heaven knows what, about 2004 probably, we looked at the speakers at Cannes, and there was not a single speaker from an independent agency. So we got together with Terry Savage and said, let's do something that is not just about independent agencies, but about really the best independent agencies. And that was the birth of the Independent Agency Showcase. So we're going to have 3 fantastic speakers today. Ali from Elephant Cairo, John Matejcik from Matejcik Hofer, and Rob Jack from the Special Group from New Zealand. I'm going to talk for about 1 minute about thenetworkone. And all I'm going to say is I started this company 8 years ago to help independent agencies to connect with international clients, to help international marketeers to find the best independent agencies for their needs, and to help independent agencies connect with each other. Because very often if you're in one country, how do you find somebody who's the right resource for your client and your need and your agency's character in China, in Australia, in India, in Brazil, in Belgium. And that's what thenetworkone does. If any of you are independent agencies, please do come and introduce yourself to us after the show. And if you have time in the next couple of hours after this seminar, please do come and down and join us at the Plage Goéland. It's the first beach. If you leave the Palais, going towards the Martinez, down the Croisette, it's the first beach you come to, Plage de Goéland. And we'll have a little drink and a chance to talk to the speakers and meet other independent agency folks. But I don't want to make this a theory about, are independent agencies better than network agencies? I really want to just talk about why independent agencies matter. And not just to people who work for independent agencies, but people who work for network agencies, for marketing clients, for the media, and for everybody that's involved in our business. And I'd like to start mischievously by quoting somebody who absolutely does not work for an independent agency, but works for one of the best and most successful holding companies, Maurice Lévy. Publicis, you may have read, just changed its constitution so Maurice can stay on in charge until he is 75. So many years to go for Maurice. But this is what he was saying a couple of years ago, quoted in campaign. He said, there's bound to be an impact from the recession and the economic crisis on the number of entrepreneurs doing agency startups. In the 70s, everybody was doing it. In the 80s, not so many. In the 90s, even less. And since 2000, almost none. And there's no likelihood of that changing. Well, he's a great man, but he is really wrong on that one. And we're going to prove that to you today with some absolutely fantastic examples of people who have started agencies relatively recently and built a big success. We, the independents, tend to be a little bit on the fringe. Quite interesting if you look at the way that the Cannes Lions people have set the seminar program out. The middle chunk is very much the holding companies, WPP, the IPGs, the Publicis, and the independents, the yellow people, are Sunday and Friday night and Saturday. So, okay, we're a little bit left field. We look in a little bit at the big corporate guys, but we do so with a perspective that hopefully is going to be interesting to everybody. And it's maybe just worth noting at this point, none of us has an inside track on who's going to win awards at this festival. But last year, the independent agencies won more Grand Prix than WPP, Publicis, Havas, and Interpublic put together. So, in a way, the independents are the people where the new ideas are coming from. And it's not just us saying that, you know, if we look at what's happened in the past year, if you look at the US, first time in living memory, the two agencies of the year, Creative Agency and Media Agency of the Year, are both independently owned, privately owned, owner-managed agencies. Big ones, but still independent. Look at what's happening in the UK. This was an analysis which the AAR, the search consultant in the UK, put together about who was the most successful business winner in 2010, excluding accounts that changed hands because of international alignment. So accounts where the marketeer chose the agency. And if you take the top 10 from 2010, the great majority are independent. So we looked at Germany, biggest market in Europe. And we said, who were the top 10 digital creative agencies? And we looked at Horizont, one of the leading media in Germany. And again, if we look at it, the same pattern appears. The independent agencies are really, in this time of change and fluidity and uncertainty in our business, there's a great deal of excitement coming out of the independents. So that's why we're here today. There's one thing that those independents have in common. It's outstanding creativity. Cannes has changed its name from the Festival of Advertising to the Festival of Creativity, and that's what we're going to look at for the rest of this seminar.